he's telling me that he's protecting me, that I don't have to fear kind of alien incursions or, I don't know, ghost schoolies, whatever's going to possibly come my way if I think about it. And he's saying, no, it's not going to happen. And my reaction is, very perversely, oh, but what if I want it to happen? Hello again. It's only a day since I made my last video, which was yesterday, Shrove Tuesday. I may not post this for a few days because I'm going away on a little break, but I wanted to talk about it, my little pearl of wisdom. So lately I've been focusing more on angels. I'm thinking, if there are such things as angels, and people from different persuasions all talk about them, you know, they're a Jewish tradition, I guess, basically, but also the Korean shamans. I've been listening to a couple of interviews with them, and they talk about angels, speaking to them, giving them guidance. Well, we all have angels apparently. And other people say, oh, well, we're surrounded by both angels and demons, and the angels are having fights, cosmic fights with the demons, and trying to protect us from the unhelpful ideas the demons might want to implant. And so all the time you've got this thing going on. And I suppose if you give the angels your support and try and pay attention to them, you might be on the side of the angels. You might kind of win the battle against the demons, if there are demons. And I suppose it makes sense that if there are angels, there will also be demons, because everything is balance, isn't it? You have good and bad, you have light and dark, you have heavy and light, you have day and night. Everything has an opposite, yin and yang. Wherever you look, there's contrast like that. So angels and demons. The interesting thing was, the other night, I woke up in the night, as I frequently do, and usually I try and kind of focus on sensations so that I get into a meditative state and go back into sleep. But that particular night, I woke up and suddenly came into my head, clear and isolated, Skinwalker Ranch. And I thought, no, I'm not going to think about Skinwalker Ranch, and I immediately focus on something else. And I'm thinking now, if there are such things as demons floating around trying to put ideas in our heads and scare us and make us weighed down with unpleasant and bad ideas, maybe that was a demon just trying to put words into my mind. Because when you think about how do you talk to demons, well, how do you talk to angels anyway, let's focus on the angels. Think about how you're going to communicate with them. They generally seem to just put ideas in your head, and you don't even know a lot of the time that that's where they've come from, unless you start to pay attention to it and you notice there are different qualities of idea that come to you. And sometimes they seem to be something that's just come from nowhere, and then you might be able to imply to yourself that maybe that's not something that you've just thought up in your own head, but that it's come from somewhere in another dimension to maybe help or hinder you, depending where it came from. So yeah, I've been thinking about dreams, because when you're dreaming, you're in a kind of in-between state, and people do talk about things coming to them in dreams, don't they, from other dimensions. And in a previous video recently, I talked about a couple of dreams I'd had, which did seem fairly significant. This morning I woke up and I was aware of a little snatch of a dream I'd had, which seemed to be in that category of where did that come from. So there's a man, and he's explaining something to me. He's telling me that you have to look after your eyes, you have to wash them out really thoroughly with soap. And in the dream I was thinking, oh, okay, I have to wash my eyes. I haven't been paying attention. I haven't really washed my eyes much. So I wake up and I think, no, come on, no one's going to wash their eyes out with soap. that's just going to sting. That's not helpful. Not helpful or healthful. And then I thought, yeah, there's that concept of washing your mouth out with soap. I don't think people do it now, but in Victorian times, when a child would say something that was considered to be bad, they would be made to wash their mouth out with soap. As a kind of a symbolic way of cleansing themselves of the bad words that they'd been saying. And I'm thinking maybe that's the same with this little snatch of dream. He's not telling me to literally wash my eyes out with soap. He's saying, pay attention to what's going in through your eyes. Keep them clean. Keep them looking at worthy things and helpful things and beautiful things. And cleanse them of visions of nastiness, like, I don't know, there's so many television programs around at the moment. Not that I'm in the least bit tempted to watch them, but programs focusing on artificially created relationships between young men and young women, like, Love Island, Married at First Sight. Was there one called Three in a Bed, or this is the latest idea? You put three people together, 2 men and 1 woman, or 2 women and 1 man, or something, and just watch what happens. And it's like, what are we doing? Playing with people's emotions like that? That's really unpleasant. I don't want to watch stuff like that. And maybe there are other things I'm watching. I watch quite a lot on YouTube. I tend to follow the clickbait, and perhaps it's a good idea to draw my own attention to what I'm watching, in the sense that a lot of it might just be going into my eyes and creating a kind of a residue of yuckiness. The sort of thing I mean. Anyway, that was my thought for the day. I don't want any yuckiness in my eyes. I'll wash them out with spiritual soap, shall we say. So yeah, it's the first day of Lent. I can't call myself a Christian. I mean, I kind of talk to Christ now and again, and just to check if he's there or not. If he wants to reveal himself, he's perfectly entitled to. The main objection I have to becoming a committed formal Christian, and I have been one at various points in my past, but I've kind of slipped away from it. I can't do it because of this self-abasement thing. I've had a problem with self-abasement all my life, and I'm not going to do it anymore. But still, Lent is a good opportunity to reflect on stuff and perhaps practice a bit of self-discipline, so that's what I'm going for. Now, we've been away and we've come back, and I just wanted to pursue the theme of dreams and symbolic messages for a moment, because while I was away, I had another little snippet of dream, which made me think a bit more about a previous dream I'd had, which I had discounted because I didn't understand it. So the previous dream, which I had, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, involved me standing outside our back door of our house, and there's this man, and he says to me in a very assured kind of manner, "I did lock the door," with the emphasis on did. Yes, definitely, I locked the door. At that time I also had another bit of dream, which I have no idea if it means anything, but it was the face of a woman, and she was looking at me, and she had red lipstick on, but that's by the by. It's the man who said he locked the door. So who was this man, and why was he so definite about assuring me that he'd locked the door? The thing is, while I was away, I dreamt about another man who may well have been the same man. So in this second snippet of dream, I was outside our holiday house, and the man's outside the holiday house as well. He's to my left every time. I don't know if this makes any difference, but I'm just mentioning it. And he's turning the key in the lock of the holiday home, and then he's walking very firmly away with the key. No words, just this gesture of locking and walking away with the key. And my reaction to this in the dream is, oh, but I won't be able to get out now. You've taken the key away. So I wake up and I think, what was that all about? It's another dream in which the man's locking the door. Well, clearly it's not the door of a house. It's the door to somewhere, possibly the door to the kind of otherworldly planes, shall we say. Possibly he's telling me that he's protecting me, that I don't have to fear kind of alien incursions or, I don't know, ghost schoolies, whatever's going to possibly come my way if I think about it. And he's saying, no, it's not going to happen. And my reaction is, very perversely, oh, but what if I want it to happen? Anyway, reflecting on that dream made me remember an incident. This was an actual physical thing that happened within the holiday house the day before, because we'd got up and thought we're going to cook ourselves a nice holiday breakfast. And it's an electronic cooker, Zanussi, the appliance of science, which is so scientific that you need a degree to operate the thing. Or at least if you're not used to it, it's a bit difficult. It's got a hob, and the hob is a kind of a black glass surface. And on the black glass surface there's a few little symbols. And so you put your fingers on these symbols at random, trying to turn something on. But nothing happens. So you try again, and still nothing happens. So you try it in a different order, and still nothing happens. Then you think, well, maybe it's not even turned on. So you look around the kitchen, and around the corner you find a red switch. And you switch that on, and then a light comes on your hob. Ah, okay. That was the problem. And then you see there's actually an on button. It's like the circle with the line through the middle, and you put your finger on that. And the thing comes on. And so the on button is on, and next to it there's another symbol that looks like a lock, and that's also on. So you try and press all the other buttons, and after like a few seconds the whole thing goes off again. So you touch the on button and it comes on, and you think, I've got to unlock it somehow. So you try various combinations, you turn it on, you press the lock, you hold the lock, you press the lock and the on button, and every single time you do this, the whole thing waits, sneers at you, and turns itself off. And we couldn't actually use this hob to cook our breakfast. It was just so frustrating. I swear to you, I did try every possible combination with that lock symbol, and I couldn't get it to unlock. I had to phone the agent, and the agent came around later in the day, and he played with it for a bit, and eventually he worked out that you have to turn it on, then hold down the lock for a certain number of seconds, and it goes off. It looked so simple. And I said, well, let me try it. And so I pressed the on button. Well, pressed, you want to press it, but you can't press it. You just kind of rest your finger on it because it's electronic. And and so the lock symbol lights up again. And so I press the lock symbol and it goes off. And just for good measure, I try it again. Turn it on, lock symbol comes up, put my finger on the lock symbol, wait, and it goes off. Okay, so we finally cracked it. The next day, we turn on the hob and the lock symbol doesn't come up at all. But why did it come up the first time? What is the point of it? How does it, why did we make it lock? Did we make it lock? Did that man in the dream make it lock just to make a point? This is what happens. Anyway, so that's 3 ways in which this message of things being locked has come to me. And I'm not sure what to make of it, because things can't stay locked forever. You have to unlock them. But maybe it's just like reassurance. You're not on your own here. Somebody's watching over you. That might be it. That might be the whole of the message. You can proceed with caution, but with assurance. Who knows? So anyway, that's my thought for the week. And may I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye.